Morning, Anna-Marie.
Morning there.
New to the trading room. Seen your name yet?
Yes, I am new to the trading room, and I might be switching PCs because I've got load shedding in about half an hour. So yes.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, that's a major hassle. It really is. Now level 6, even talk level 7 coming up. It's a major hassle.
It is
Yeah,
a pain at the bottom.
it's
Just-
pain
just-
at the bottom, yeah.
Yeah, just being polite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, just to introduce what I'm doing. We start off with chat you in the meantime, start with 9.
Okay.
Quite right. You can interact as you've done there, or you can post in the chat line, etc. This is a trade room. I don't know what your experience is in trading, but if you've never heard of a lot size on a forex or a share before, it might be an idea to a couple of classes. I assume you bought the product. Otherwise, you might get confused because this is a quick trading room rather.
Trading room.
And you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you. I have some experience in trading. I do understand what shares are. I do understand what forex is. So yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do. That's fine. Then we can develop the practical basis. Because I can't spend the time holding everyone else up in the class, tell them what a lot size means, or what's between the share and the euro dollar, what's an index. That's for the classes. Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
No, don't worry. I'm fine in that respect. I just basically need some help with the entry of trades, exit of trades, when should one stay out, stuff like that.
Okay, yeah. I'll be honest, I gathered that. You're very good at complete beginner and having the courage in the chat line, never unmuting themselves. They're too shy. So I gathered you probably had some experience. That's what you need. You need the confidence to put your hand up and ask. This is what I call this a forum where we interact. I mean, a hell of a lot of trade ideas are set out to everyone. They're actually found here in the trading where we discuss together. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's the practical. And you get the guys saying, well, I think it's a buy on the euro dollar. And then you might get old George or John saying, oh, no, I think it's a sell. We put them up and see, what do you think? It's a forum. We try and get rid of egos and learn the fact that it could be right or wrong for anybody. And just rather all try and kick the same goalpost. Try and work as a family together. You see what I mean?
Awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Awesome.
Yeah, the AUD NZD, we're not stopped out yet. It shouldn't have been, Jacob. But we'll have a look at that in a minute. I don't know why it's come off a bit, but it seems to be, we had such a brilliant morning yesterday. And maybe because I got ahead of myself, patting myself on the back, it's going well. And I thought, the God above on trade thought, well, you're getting ahead of yourself, Roger. I'll come and kick your ass. Probably kicks my ass and kicks everybody else's ass in that trade. But anyway, whatever. But we'll have a look in a moment. I'm going to be discussing a couple of GBP ones as well, which you might say, bugger that, but I think so. We can, I might call it revenge trading, but I think that been pounds overcooked. I just don't think that reaction was totally over the top on yesterday's PPI release, and I think we might get a pullback. We'll discuss it in a minute. It's 5:30 now, so we can go into that. Right, we'll check on that one first. We're still in it, so if you're not in it, where the AUD NZD, let's have a look at it now. Don't know why it's come off this. I haven't include. Oh, I know. Sorry, do beg your pardon. Do beg your pardon. NZD, it was expected, increased it by 0.5%, 50 basis points this morning at a funny hour in the morning, great their time, very early our time. because of about 11, 12-hour difference, whatever it is. But yeah, they increased. Now, as expected, but even though as expected, when it occurred, it did have quite a bit of strengthening on the NZD, hence the pullback on it. Will that be maintained or not is another story. If you're still in, you haven't been stopped out in theory, you shouldn't have been. Where is it now? 1.0922. It didn't get there, as you can see. You should still be in. But if you're not in, it came down to support there, and some buyers are coming in. It might be a little bit nerve-wracking to chase at the moment after at least it's only a few hours old. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's because remember it was expected. There's no surprise there. They're expecting half. They didn't get a quarter or three-quarter. They got exactly as expected. So when I think a bit of the reaction cools down a bit, there might actually be some movement back up again. So obviously, if you're in, it's not stopped out, and keep your fingers crossed. If you aren't in, I think maybe just wait a bit, see if we can firm a little bit more up before you get too cute. Which shouldn't have done. I got the stop down here as 1.0922. Let's just do it in a 4-hour chart. You shouldn't be. You couldn't get anywhere near that. So I don't quite know how that occurred. But anyway, according to mine down here, should. But if you're out, you're out. Stop down. There's no point in saying we should or shouldn't. You're out. That's the bottom line, clearly. So, but I think there should be some recovery here. But I'm a little bit nervous to say go in again. You make your choice on that one. Okay, Jacob. Remember, I can only advise. We got responsibility of advising. And so I've got to be maybe a little bit more conservative some others. Gerald's here. Gerard's here. He asked me a couple of, I said, I like him, but maybe wait for confirmation. But he's been trading a while, and so it's not the compliment going in, he's doing quite well. I've got to be, as a host, licensed to advise, I've got to be slightly more responsive on the conservative side, which occasionally might miss out some trades, but I've just got to, be a little bit more on that side. If it's an aggressive one or some even more aggressive than the normal, here he comes, Gerard, that is. I will mention that in the trading room. It wouldn't be put out to the guys out there. It's just the trading guys. This is extremely aggressive, but if you like it, that's your choice. So you're going in with your eyes open. Okay, so yeah. Oh, well, that's fair enough. I like it. That's what I hear. Right, you should have received. I don't think it's sent out yet, but the GBP CHF, I see it as a short. Now, I know we got kicked in the teeth of the PPI yesterday, but as I mentioned again, the trade was right. It was doing okay, and the overreaction, the emotional overreaction to it was I just can't get my head around it. I remember emotion always leads to logic, and emotion is just virtually impossible to quantify. It's like a drunk guy going to the casino, if you know the rules of blackjack, doubling on 18. And 3 comes up. Well, that's not the way to trade. You got lucky. You get the idea. He puts his house on black and it comes up and wonders why his wife kicks his ass when he gets home. He's got 2 houses because if red come up, then he's clearly homeless. That sort of emotional stuff, you can't work that out. That's beyond understanding. I think even the psychologists, in fact, psychiatrists, you can go insane themselves with it. That apart, I think the Swiss franc is one of the strongest. I'm just going to mute a bit of background noise there, putting me off a bit. Don't forget, if you want to chat, with pleasure, do it. Just not mine, and I'll mute again. The background has put me off a bit. Okay, where are we at? Pound CHF, I think that's completely overcooked. I still think that's one of the strongest currencies at the moment out of the crosses. Not talking about the exotics, I'm talking the crosses and the majors. Look how the 50-day moving average held. So those know which ones they are. That's a 200, 50 simple, all simple. That's 100 simple, 50 simple, and 10 simple. Look how it held. I use a filter below these 2 major ones, 50 and 200, on the daily. Remember, so hourly, 50 times hourly on the hourly. It held, you see what I mean? Then it came off. I see some downside there, and I think the trade should have been sent out. And I know we got kicked yesterday, but I think the pound overreacted. Look at this. There's no reason why it should go up 150 pips. I think it's one of the strongest currencies out there because it got slightly inflationary on the PPI, slightly higher cost increase than expected. You know what I'm saying? It's the overall picture in the UK is not that good. So that's my take. We can have a look at the weekly if you like. See, right up against support there, and that's holding on the 10 weekly, and that's a 10 times week. Look at the 4 hour if you like. Yep, it seems to be holding around this sort of level here. Look at the hourly, maybe it's popped up a bit, but some sellers are coming in. Even the very short, some sellers are coming in here. So I see that as a trade. It'd probably be sent out, but you're in the trading room and you can discuss like, dislike, etc. This is where you kick in. And those who had experience in trading, please, like yourself, Pietro, like to hear your views. What do you think? I fell on this one. If you do, I'll put the RR up. If you haven't received it in that box, might get a slightly better price actually, because 13 is about 4 or 5 bits better price. So you can get a better price. Yeah. Well, if you have you received your mailbox? I don't know yet. If you're receiving your mailbox, you wait. Yeah, if you're receiving the mailbox, it came out slightly lower. It's still getting a better price on the short. So if you like it, you're getting a better price. So clearly, you like it, Pietro. Okay. Fiona doesn't like it. Adam is going to wait. So anybody else like it? Oh, thanks for that way update. So if you go now, it's a couple of pips higher up to get a better price. So I'll do it again for you if you like it. Just get to see the updated figures if you haven't already gone in. If you've gone in, just let me know. Right, we got it down here as 1.1288. And 1.1090. Remember, I ignore the 5th decimal place. We're after pips, not points. Don't forget. Points are only relevant. You've got a several million rand account. Otherwise, don't worry about it. There you are. You're getting a slightly better price. Yeah, I just mentioned you, Carol, there, Rambo. Yeah, I just said before you came on there that you asked me a couple of ideas, and I like the trade, but I had to be conservative because of being the host here of it. And you took the reins anyway, and it's doing well. Well done. That's your decision, that's what I'm saying. Good to have you here. Right, so let's go in now. So yeah, I'm sticking with that. I like the trade. You can't pick the bottoms or tops. When you enter, it might pop up against you for a few pips, and might go straight with you. And you think this is all right, then it pops back up again. The noise can drive you insane, but you're not going to get rid of it. It's always going to be there. Always remember, millions and millions of people are trading, literally millions and millions of people are trading as we speak at this instant. And so you always get the ups and downs of closing, and yeah. Right, so there you are, if you like it. Okay, 130 bucks a micro. I mentioned today to head about a profit-taking bounce. A profit-taking bounce is when you're selling short and you're exiting. If you see that's a strong support level, or rather resisting going short, and you've got a short position in, and you're closing it, what are you doing to close? You're not selling to exit, you're buying to exit. So you have to talk about a short covering bounce or a profit-taking bounce. That's when guys are exiting their positions. To do so, they buy, which pushes the price up. Not all due respect on your own. No disrespect, it's not enough money. But if a lot of people are doing it combined, it's enough to push it up. It's the other way around. If you're going long, you're selling to exit. So you get a profit-taking pullback. That's what it means. So if it's gone right up here and the guys are exiting their long positions, you get a bit of a pullback, comes off, and you get some short guys pushing in, short sellers coming in, not necessarily, vertically challenged guys, but short sellers coming in, and that can actually sometimes increase the momentum. Happened. Okay, so there we are. I do like it flopping around a bit, but I think that 50 is going to hold. We've got it's above the 200 the stop. I don't see what's going to maintain that pound to go screaming up there at all. So yeah. Right. Okay, we're in anyway. We'll move on from that. Right. What I think he's going to go back and saying all the time. We've got to get this inflation down. The debt problem is massive, massive, massive in the States. They owe more than the actual GDP earnings. In other words, you're earning 100 grand a month, and your liabilities are 140 grand. You literally, or your assets are 100, not earnings. Sorry, your assets are 100,000 units, shall we say, but your debt is 140. So you might be driving a smart car and looking a fancy guy there, but actually you're broke. You're not broke because you're paying off your debt, but you're in debt. Same principle with the United States, Europe, and most places, Japan, etc. Very, very few places, maybe some oil companies are, oil-rich countries are, but most places that work basically like the average teenager working their factory. They don't work it too well. With all social programs, they've got emotion dealing to get votes come through, which costs money, and it doesn't always get it back again. That's another story. The point is, I think he's going to stick with his hawkish stance, and he might refer to the fact this is more important. It's not data release. You can't do a straddle trade on this. There's no data release. It's a Q&A and release the minutes and the way forward. And I think he's going to stick to his guns, stick to hawkish. It's the leverage of the hawkish, and they'll be picking up our heads to say, will it be 0.25% or 0.5% coming up next month? And will there be an increase rate again in May or not? And will there be a likely pullback at the end of this year, or maybe have a look at maybe pulling it back? Interest rates not stopping them, actually probably decreasing, maybe into the new year. That's the information and sort of, what's the word? Diagnosis, prognosis. That's the prognosis that the world's markets will be looking at. So you can't trade in it because anything could happen. But I think there'll probably, if any hawkish, will have a negative effect on the shares and the indices, yeah. And it'll strengthen the dollar. And it'll weaken gold. Good, Gerard and everybody. Anyhow, hint of we're right on track now. No interest rates increase in May at this stage, unlikely. We could change our mind, which means unlikely. We're sticking maybe quarter, that's not really going blah, blah, blah. Any hint of any dovishness, the marks will shoot up. The gold will shoot up, the dollar will shoot down, the shares will shoot up. Any hint of that. Remember, psychologically, you want to buy rather than sell short. We've got to be buying, we understand that we can. But most guys don't understand that. Most people using equity, etc. Oh, terrible day on the markets. You're smiling, you're short. But most guys are long on it because they can't short sell equity and most other things. They're not programmed mentally to do that. So they naturally go for that. So any hints of any good news or anything breaks the dovish stance of we've got the inflation under control will have a big effect on gold to the north, the indices like the Nasdaq to the north, the world share markets to the north, and the dollar to the south. Hope that's clear. Okay. Well, actually, Mark, you wouldn't. And if you would be a millionaire or even richer if you didn't tell anybody. But if you told us about it, you wouldn't, because then there wouldn't be a market. Mark happens to know the GBP is going to go in a certain direction, so no, you won't be able to get in because you're going to buy it. I ain't going to sell it to you. You're going to sell it. I'm not going to buy it off you because we know Mark knows. So you would kill the markets. The only way to make me a millionaire doing that was, for goodness sake, keep to yourself. So anyone start sharing that knowledge, they're trying to sell you something. Simple as that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to ruin out my budding billionaire stuff by giving away information and an infallible robot because it would be diluted the market. I use a cell phone. If I came up with that cell phone today, which you can buy for 5,000 or 6,000 rand, 20 years ago, as it is right now, I reckon I could sell it over 100 grand because it can do so much, you know, but now it's discounted in the markets. Just remember that. In fact, probably more as much. Right? If I could sell it 40 years ago, I'd probably sell it for 1 million rand or more. You don't understand the power God I have that little phone until it's beyond belief. The Apollo 11 putting man on the moon had nothing like the computer ability. With all those little computers they had, you got more in one sodding phone they had collectively. Just to put, anyway, moving on. You'll know more about that than me, Mark. Anyway, okay. So we're on to GBP share chat. Now I'm not sure you'll be happy with the ones to come out with now because I'm looking to actually do a few more on the GBP. If you don't, well, that's fair enough. You've shown the way there this morning, Gerard. You actually, I think it's going to be a pullback on this one. It's in the buy zone, technical damage. The New Zealand dollar has come out with an interest rate as expected hike, which has strengthened a bit. I think that could pull back a bit. But if you decide to wait on it after yesterday's smack, I would not blame you whatsoever. But I think this one could pull back. Okay, fair enough. You have to go, you have to go. I will hold it against you, but that's just the way it is. Yeah. Good luck, whatever you go to anyway. Cheers, mate. Yeah, so this is quite an aggressive trade in the buy zone. I get that. New Zealand's released the figures I mentioned. It's a bit too wide of stops in, but I don't like. Maybe do a more aggressive trade in the 4 hour. It's still too wide. It's a bit too wide. No, I don't like it. It's too wide. But I do see some downside. You'd have to take a stop there to make it worth your while, I think it's going to pull back personally to there. That's up to you. If you like it, we'll have a look at it. Anyone, or should we sit this one out? Yeah, it's still hurting. Probably some people got some extreme pains in that specific area of the derriere, monsieur. Okay, I'm talking selling the pound here. Now, this one looks technically a little bit more likely. Okay. Well, if you're good with that, you're good with that. I know Gerard's gone and he mentioned that. I'm not saying I shouldn't can't give you amounts, but he was happy on that. Okay. This one here is looking like it's holding there. The problem is if he you've got to make sure that if you're in profit by 9 o'clock tonight, that's when Powell's speaking, make sure you don't have a cock up like we did where you didn't modify the stop. So if you're in a profit, modify the break even, then you're covered. But he might get a bit of whipsaw, whatever. But you don't want to miss out if he is hawkish and the pound comes flying off as the dollar goes up. So I'm just putting that out to you so you're aware of it. But I see a short on this one. I know we had it out yesterday. I know that PPI bugging up, and it was doing so damn well, which really rubbed salt in the wounds. But I think this is going to come up again. What do you think? Any comments? Wait for you to have a look. I'll tell you what, someone's getting the idea. Maybe we should swap place here for you if you take over. Well, bloody done. Yeah. The only trouble with that, Peter, you just bust my male ego. Be very careful of the male ego, ladies. It's like cut glass, very sensitive. And mine just been torn apart. Joking apart, well bloody done. Well bloody done. That's my probably sense of humor way of saying well bloody done. I'm impressed, well done. Someone's learned, they're on it. Unstable cable, I like it, Ken. Unstable cable, yeah. Was certainly unstable yesterday. So we leave this, okay. The other one, I'm not too sure about this one. I'm not sure. We'll have a look anyway. I'm just all of them are selling pound at the moment. I think it's overcooked. No, not so good. I don't like that. Tell you why now. Yes, that's better on the daily. It's very strong on the 4 hour, and we haven't got much. It's still the 15-minute. Yeah, it's trying to move up again, hovering. I don't think. I still think that's going to come off. But if you're nervous, I want to move on. We'll come back to any line. And the Euro GBP, this ought to be a buy for selling the pound, so it's the other way around. Remember, that's the base currency. This one again, I see some buy, some upside on this one. I think at least could get good. It's going to get back up there to make it worthwhile. But those are the ones I'm looking at possible. I don't know more or not. Sell the pound NZD, sell the pound dollar, pound yen, and then the buy on this one where we're selling the pound against the euro. Any comments before we move on? No comments. Okay. Right. Gold probably going to be a lot of it's going to be a little sideways coming up to Powell. It's popping around in about a $3-4 range, so let's let it run. We did okay with our shares yesterday. The NAS has come right down to 12,000. A bit of a short covering bounce, expecting that. I'm not surprised. 12,000 area, not exactly. Came off. We had a trade out at 12.7. Remember, got the stops modified to 12.5, so it should all be fine, beautifully in profit. one of the better ones we had. Trump's on the micro, so I'm not sure the profit's going to be that high. That being as it may, 700 pip profit, or 600 now. At the extent of that bounce, any sellers coming in for the 15 minutes. A couple of sellers already coming back in again. Yeah, if you think Powell's going to be hawkish and take out 12,000 to the downside, you can be bearish and jump up. But that's the micro. I take it you all know how to get the micro, or you've all got it now. You can explain how to do that if you want it. If you've got enough money, you don't need it anyway. It's only for people who are basically small bands. I did. Well, I'll tell you something, Anna-Marie, it's a fact of life. As soon as you go into something, you immediately goes the opposite way. That's a crystal clear one, you know? But then hopefully it'll come out the right way. Murphy is a very, very powerful person. That's why you have your correct position sizing, so you understand Murphy, and then your stop loss and your strategy become right. We've had a couple of problems in the past. Yeah, I wouldn't chase it now. I think we've already got one out anyway. I wouldn't be chasing it now. Now we've already got, I think it's in a bit of profit actually. Yes, I think it should be in a bit of profit. We had one out. Probably last week ago it was. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, had the S&P out a while back, and that's only now coming right. So yeah, a while back, I think it's going out of the way because you've got so much paper piling up here. But anyway, yeah, what am I saying? Yeah, I think anyone still in that would be in a bit of a profit now. Just stick with it. You mean you've got a small balance left over to trade with? Okay. So if it hits you hard, then you're overexposed. I'm afraid you might have modified away your stop loss, so it's going to come right. You start overexposing and then increase the problem by modifying your stop loss. You don't be taken out. Going back to the natural emotional aspect is hold on to the losses. I can't take it. It must come right, and it blows your account. And then when you see a profit, it's so far to be taken away, you grab it. So you've got to run about 10 trades to make up the one you, well, exaggeration, you know what I mean, the one you lose on. It's this emotional fear of taking the loss, they hold on to the losers, and fear the winner will be taken away, so they grab the profit too down. But in with small profit, though, that's all, at least it's profit. Okay. But yeah, equity management, I can't overstate it, and understanding the emotions that are involved. You won't be able to control them, but you can get better in understanding them. Get a bit of self-analyzation to do the job. Just realize, hang on, am I reacting irrationally or am I reacting emotionally? Talk to yourself, and then hopefully you can differentiate between the two. When that emotion takes over, it controls and often not the correct way. The problem is, emotions doesn't adorn a man, and technology and like swimming underwater. And you know, like submarines and flying in the air goes completely against our evolutionary genome, if you like. So it was sort of put into the human a few 100,000 years ago, and it's still attacking us. And even though technology is fast, evolution is slow, and that's why that emotion can always be irrational. But people say control your emotions up to a certain extent. We all have to, but you won't get rid of them. You just got to get a better understanding of discipline, control, and basically have a chat to yourself. Am I being emotional on it? Take a deep breath. Not easy, I know. Especially really someone pisses you off. You forget the thing, and bang, you get stuck in. The trouble is you might say a couple of things you can't withdraw, and that will not be forgotten. The damage is done. Yeah, done it. You've done it. We've all done it. It happens. It's a bit glib to say, you know, get rid of those emotions. Well, you can't. Just controlling them and understanding them, probably more practical. 7745. Down around the 58, about the look of it. Yeah, that's about right. Good enough. Might be slow getting there, but might get a bit of help from Powell because it will affect the world's markets. Okay. I think you all know what I'm talking about when I say Powell. He's the chairman of the Federal Reserve in the United States. You got to know who he is. forget the president or forget anybody else. That guy affects markets with what he says in question answer the world markets. A wrong word from him can lose or gain $1 trillion in a few seconds in the world's markets. God knows he is. To a less extent, Christine Lagarde, she's the president of the ECB. That's the European Central Bank. To a less extent, but the man is. Well, not matter buy. Yeah, it could bounce from here, but again, I think you're going to find it a bit slow here, Jacob, because people are going to be a bit wary of the dollar. I've got a poncho back. Okay, good stuff. There's not a regular here. Could have her back. Yeah, no, it's going to be probably find a bit sideways going into 9 o'clock tonight. I think it's a lot of leaning towards a hawkish stance. So people, I think, we've really nerves of selling the dollar, but they might be a little bit concerned about buying it at this stage. Remember, it's not a data release. It's questions, answers, Q&A, that sort of thing, and saying what the view is. So you could get some dancing around, and that can be very unpredictable. So basically, I'd leave it alone. If you want to take a gamble, then short it, but that's a gamble. Good morning. Just saying, welcome back. Good to have you. The guys have missed you. Just to embarrass her. Yeah, great to have you back. Okay, we mentioned the pound. We don't want to go for the moment. Well, let's have a look at the one that was sent out. Kick my arse if it goes wrong, because again, of course, it's my idea. Not much happening, but at least it's not going badly wrong. It's 3-4 pips. Some guys got in on the trading room at this price, so it might be okay there. So far, keep the fingers crossed. A Dow might have been sent out on the micro. I think they're going to send it out. I'm not sure what they're going to do with it. I was a bit hesitant on it. I said there might be a little bit of a jump before it comes off. I think I might send it out anyway. It's a wide stop, but I'll put it up anyway for you. Not because I've set up what they have, but I did like to put the signature too strongly with it. Of course, I'm totally against it. I do see a bit of downside, but wrong way around. 3 3 4 3 3 3 4 3 8. Ah, bloody hell! Can't do two things at once here. 3 2 6 3 6. On the wrong one, sorry, on the normal one, go on the micro. That's why we have a micro. You see what I mean? $500 would be your risk. The beauty, we have a nice wide stop on this, you see. How long again? I keep forgetting. I'm overall, as I think you all guys know now, stellar rallies. I'm bearish on the markets, where they hide the word recession because they don't want to say the word or not the R word. It's got a bit of a 500, sorry, up there, but we haven't had much of a bounce when it got down those levels. You can see I'm on the 1 hour. It's not much of a bounce. So with a wide stop, you could be okay on that. Just remember, if Powell is dovish, which I'm not always going to be, that could stop you out. But it's $50 a micro. It's affordable to just about everybody. If you can't afford 50 Rand, trust me, forget trading. Okay, so I don't know if it's sent out or not, but I was a bit iffy. I thought maybe get a slightly better price, but it's not really happening. But if you want to take it, we've already got one out here, by the way, the trading guys anyway. And it's about 1,000 pips in profit as we speak. 1,000 pips in profit. And at one stage, it's now just 700 pips in profit. the guys who took that micro one. So that's fine. If you I wouldn't add to it. I say if you're not in, you got a micro. It's not maybe take a couple of micros or whatever, and maybe took 100, 150 around punt, wide stop. If it comes right, we make some money. We won't make a huge amount, but your risk is so small, we can at least make something. So what do you think? It's still in, clearly. It should be still in. Why the hell would you get out? Absolutely. You modified your stop. You're not going to loosen the trade. Why get out of it? No point. That's a classic area where you're running your losses and not running your profits. If you got out of that one, so that's 100%. But obviously, don't add to it now. I'm just saying, we've got a micro in on, and I want to take a bit of a punt on that one. There you are. But it's angling on the punt, to be honest. And we see it's not going to hurt you, you know what I mean? Not going to be out of house and home. Yeah, 50 odd bucks micro. Just review them on micro. If it comes right, you're not going to make much. So if you want to, that's up to you. Just going to check the DXY. DXY is coming off a bit, which is about 104. I think it's going to dance around a touch, simply because of the expectation tonight. We'll have opinions. So I'm going to copy and paste it for you guys in case you haven't got it. And of course, the very important one's the euro. I keep saying the euro, sorry, the economic calendar. Those who haven't got us, get mine in. Roger. Trading support. WhatsApp, please. Okay, that's my number if you haven't got it. Remember, I'm licensed to advise you. The account manager can't advise. They can help you everything else, but they can't advise on trades. Not like to do that. You have to come to me. All I ask in return, if you're going to contact me, a couple of things. First of all, at least 500 rand or more in your account, preferably 2.5 grand or more. Then I can upload you to the VIP. Number two, if you're in a demo or less than 500, sorry, I can't help you. And number three, please put your name, full names. Don't say this is John. I don't know who John is. You got to say this is John Smith, real account number 191643 or whatever it is. Then I can quickly check and then take it. Yeah. Okay, hope that's all clear. Don't forget, I haven't got the calculator. I mention this every time. Please do not trade if you don't know the budget volumes. Don't even think about it. That will nail you. You'll get lucky one day. It's the worst thing can happen, actually, funny enough. You're going too big, you got lucky, you didn't know about the fundamental, it came out favor you, you think you're no end of a guy, life's to print money, you go and do it again, and the opposite occurs, and now you've started. Get the volumes right. You cannot build Rome in a day. You might get half of it built, and the whole thing will come tumbling down. Do not overexpose. You will not get rich quick doing this, unless you're luckier than the luckiest guy going. Then go and buy a lottery ticket. Or better, go to the Monte Casino and gamble. Because I'm convinced the majority of people's strategy is more of a gamble and a feeling rather than a particular rationality behind it. I mean, I get some guys to play with a couple of bad signals coming out that didn't work, and what they do is then they say the signal's no bloody good because they broke their account, modified stop loss away, overexposed, and forgot the 4 or 5 signals that did work for them too quickly, and they're not making money out of it. That's their own head not understanding. You're going to get signals that don't work. I won't say bad. I put out what I think is good, but you're going to get signals that don't work. Classic examples yesterday on the PPI overreacting. But you just got to accept that's why you must get those volumes right. I say it every time. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page, reiterate it, etc. For an MAB has to be done. Don't forget, quickly do this now. Template, save your template. Do not lose your charts and you're stuck. Can't get all everyone's too busy or whatever, or someone's not there or acting or whatever. Just save it. All you got to do is save it. So if you do lose it, then all you should go back there, go to templates, and there they are. So, and then you can be up and running immediately. Please save it. If you don't know how to set it up properly, it's quite simple. Right click, go to properties, and there you are. Didn't take much time. I'm not doing any training here, just a quick reminder how to do it. Look at the specifications. I mentioned again, it's incorrect on the micro. What does it mean? The contract value, the spread is not 35 pips, it's 3.5 pips. The spread is always in points because they take that into account. So it's 3.5 pips of the spread, the contract size, and the margin. You know what your leverage is. I've mentioned again this morning to the guys there, the leverage on the Dow, the NAS is incorrect. Don't anyone saw the film Amadeus? Brilliant film, one of the best I've ever seen. Really enjoyed it, about Mozart. And the emperor was asked what he thought of the marriage of Figaro. He says, too many notes. Well, this one is too many noughts, not notes, but noughts. You go to specification, it should be 0.024. There's an extra naught there. That is incorrect. The leverage is actually 40, not 400 to 1. If it's 400 to 1, it would be about 15 rand on this and 5 rand on the, it's not, 150 on the micro and 50 on the NAS. So it's 40 to 1 leverage. Why it has to be a 5 account, it shouldn't be saying it's recorded, so I don't realize the maths on it. The maths is not strong. I think you're less. And I don't quite understand the maths on it. Why put a 5 on it? The leverage is less than 100. I mentioned that. I'm not sure they quite got the maths on it. But anyway, that's irrelevant. So if I'm doing an account, if you want a micro, go to the portal, open up a live account in the normal way, choose the option, the micro, and you've got 2 options there. Well, take them both, in fact, down and the what you call it NAS. And just remember, it's a 40 to 1 leverage, and it's a 1, not a 10, but a 1 contract value. So let's just quickly go through that. 1 means the contract value is 1 times this figure here. Okay, 1 times that, which is $33,000. So therefore, a mini you divide by 10, 0.1 divide by 10. That would be 3,300. 1 micro, this is the exposure, remember? The exposure is 331 US dollars, which is about what, 3,000, what's that, about 5,000, make it call it 6, close to 6,000 exchange rate. 6,000 rand is your exposure in a micro. And you divide that by 40, comes to about 150 deposit. Get the idea. Hope you've sort of got that. It is important to understand the basic arithmetic of it, because I'm convinced most people don't. And it's not, we're not doing higher maths here, it's arithmetic. And it will help you a lot to understand it. You know then your leverage, how highly leveraged it is, etc. If you go to a share, you have been 0.01. Quickly go over this. Where's a share here? Go, Baba. Here up. Baba, specification, contract size is 1. So if you buy 1 share, 1.0, and it's a $5 stock for your entry, your risk is $5, or what's that, about 80 rand. You don't get 0.01. 80 rand, 8 rand, that's 80 cents is your risk. You make a 1 rand 50, just about buy a box of matches with it. So you've got to understand that as well. The margin is always going to be 5 unless we change it. So we're checking in case they have, but to put the note out first. But anyway, it's 0.05. That's 5%. 5 into 100 is 20. So it's a 20 to 1 leverage. Now you go to the Dow Jones on the normal one, which is correct margin on that. Just quickly go through it for you guys. So you understand the maths on this. You got to, it's at 10 times. So now that's 330,000 is the contract size of 1 standard lot on that one, which is what, about 5 million rand. Here it is the correct figures, which is 400, just over about 420 to 1. But we call it 400 round figures. So you divide that 5 million by 400, and that will be a margin on the standard lot. Obviously, divide by 10 for a minute and divide again by 10 for a micro, just so you understand all that. And you get the level by dividing that figure into 100. On the micro, as I say, there's an extra note on both the NAS and the DAF, so you've got to be aware of that. While I'm on that, we're going to be introducing the XAU, it's a periodic code for gold USD. Why? I don't know, but when I ask often, they don't do them anyway. Whatever. I have no idea what the purpose is. Maybe to stop confusion, because they come from other brokers and they don't have it gold there, XAU USD. So they're putting in to stop maybe live chat questions. So if you go XAU USD or gold, same bloody thing. Why XAU USD? I hope you understand this. Is because gold we measure on this MT5 at the moment in dollars. So it's dollars per ounce. So XAU is a periodic code for dollar per ounce of the USD. But some guys actually trade XAU against the euro and the pound. So therefore it'd be the pound or the euro per ounce. That's the differential. So it's the same bloody thing. So it's just based to stop confusion. I just came from another platform. I can't find gold and it takes time. But now we can put in XAU USD. If you're happy with gold, stick with it. It doesn't make any difference. Same. There's a lot of information coming through there. I hope you understood it. We can develop a bit more, but it's important stuff you need to know. I want you to make a copy of the save those on the calendar and the DXY. It's important. AUD for a buy. It's in the center zone. Neutral buy or sell it. I have no problem there. Quite like the AUD over the JPY. I've mentioned many times the JPY, they want a weaker yen because they want to export the way out of trouble. There's the massive debt they have there. They can't increase interest rates, which can't really strengthen the yen except through exports. So they can tell exports they need to those exports need to have a reasonable price, which means a weaker currency. So from that point of view, not a bad. It's halfway between the two major ones, 50 and the 200. Okay, it's come down to support and it seems to be holding. Let's look at the 4 hour. Seems to be holding. Some buyers are coming in. Let's put these guys in. Some buyers are coming in, so we can speak. It's not the 15 to help. We'll look at it anyway. It doesn't take long. Yep, and then maybe on the weekly. It's a little bit of a problem on the weekly. It's been holding around about there. It's only 50, 60, 50. So my only negative on the buy is the weekly. But the other ones I would agree at. I would see an upside over there. Where can we look at? What's this distance here? 100 pips. So maybe about a 50, 60 pip stop down here, maybe. Round about a stop down there. Yeah, I could squeeze it. Fairly aggressive, because it's a fairly tight stop, tight TP. But the 92 at the moment seems to be holding. I'll be honest, Peter, quite like it. I think I'm on your side on this one. What do you think, guys? I've given my analysis, my say-so. Let's hear from you guys. What do you think, Dirk, or Etienne, or Farney, or Pete yourself? Well, you probably agree with me, you like it. But anybody else think it's a short, or anybody else think it's no bloody good at all, basically? That's fair enough. Leave it alone. Fair enough. LIA, guys, means leave it alone. Invented by a guy called, I forgot his name now, used to be a regular 2-3 years ago, Mr. Kamala. Anyway, he came at LIA. Leave it alone. Okay. Ken sees a buy. Ken, I want to introduce you guys. Most you know, don't know him. He's an experience. I'm saying any more than me or anyone else in the world knows it, but he does have a good experience. It's worth listening to. Sorry, embarrass you, but it's okay. If you're wary of it, not weary and wary of it, then obviously, when in doubt, stay out, no problem. But Ken's quite supportive on that. Should we look at the RR? Anyone look at the RR? So I put it up. Anybody? Or hesitating there? Tumor, Brian, Doreen? Anyone want an RR up? Nobody? Well, Ken, do you want it up? Pete, do you want it up? If you two want it up, I'll put it up. Not watching Facebook now. Okay, we're going for the long on this one. Where did I say it's about 50 pips away, didn't I? Oh, 91.40 make it. And then TP we can put up here, 93.05. Guess the 93 probably take it, but I'll put 93.05. Yeah, that's fine. $80 for micro. Okay, any takers? It's going to wait a few moments. Don't want to rush it. Let you do your thing. Work out your volumes and let me know. Any takers? Okay, so Ken likes it. Peter, you in? It's your idea. Suggested it, and I didn't like it. Are you in there, Ken? All right, down we go. It's good stuff. Give me a moment. See if they like it in the office. I'll post it out and then post out everyone else will like it. They might not. We'll see. Give me a moment. Another thing does its thing. It's the wrong thing now. Try again. Yeah, it's through. It's a bit slow, but sorry about that. Well, if you want to put a steps 91.6, Pete, go for it. It's up to you. I like to have a bit of room between for the noise. It's up to you. Will reduce your risk, obviously. And got a bit of a scalp trade, $50 a micro. Sure thing. Just with that, give you a moment. I shall push it on there. I'll do it in a minute. Sorry, let's stick to this one first and not confuse myself and typo comes through and everything. So yeah. Yeah, Mark. Okay. Right, just going to go back and look at the DXY, see what's happening. Anything else, by the way? Just the euro coming up, and that's already come out exactly as expected. German CPI was exactly as expected, 8.7%. So just 9 o'clock, we're going to watch for nothing else. That's fine, as far as I can see. Wednesday, sorry, I haven't got it down. It's don't forget oil. We'll look at oil. It's the oil inventories coming out just 5 today. US oil inventories, just so you know. What they're getting is a buy on the Brent. Maybe wait till tomorrow on that one. Can move around a bit, but if you come back even today down to a little bit lower than that, I'm looking for really to buy it around about these sort of levels here. Maybe even look at it here, 81, maybe 80, 87, 950. I don't think we can get a pull back down here. If you do, we'll have a $4 stop below this area here. About 75 we get it depending. So keep an eye on Brent. If it pulls back, we might get a buy. Okay. Look at that. You made it, or you should have made it. Yeah, because you still stuck with it, which you should have done. I keep saying, stick with the winning trade. Move your stop loss to protect. Move your TP out of the way. Weakness coming through all this load shedding. This is almost a no-brainer, this one. Remember, I asked, anyone think the round's going to be stronger with this load shedding and transport problems and coal problems and running the country problems, etc.? Nobody's got any idea, unless you got a free T-shirt, might like it. But anyway, so you'd have been coming. We were in about the 17 mark, way back there, around about this level here, and that was only what, on the 3rd. So yeah, that's about 3 weeks ago. Stick it around. Why did it doesn't matter if in 6 weeks you're making this kind of money. Why not hold on to it? You've been doing fine. Hold on, fine. Good stuff. Okay, let's just quickly check now on our GBP CHF. Not much happening, but it's starting to go in the right direction. So that's fine. It's about even Steven at the moment. Okay, just quick check of gold. I think some guys are in gold. I'm going to look at Euro JPY. Sorry, Morris. Yeah, still hovering a pretty tight range. No surprise there. The dollar index is hovering above 104, which is good because it's bad for gold and you're short gold, so that's fine. Euro JPY that went up, came back a bit. Remember, it was 144. Tommy, don't you see it? This morning, excuse me. I said, move your stop up and make a profit, whatever happens. I'm not sure it'll break 144. I think it did actually, but didn't sustain the break. Yeah, popped his head above and then came back a bit. So yeah, I did hear it or not. I'm not sure after all the hassle we had. The trouble is a lack of follow through. Look at today's candle, lack of follow through, lack of indecision. If you go out of it, I think rather just hold back. I'm not against going in again, to be honest, but I'd like to get back around about the 143-ish mark, around about there. I would buy it again, but this stage of the game, I'm going to stand aside. But yeah, that's my take. Now I won't be shorting it there. I won't short or buy at the moment. It's not enough happening. Look, you're shorting it. Look at the buyers coming in. Look at the buyers coming in. Goes up. Remember, it's only 10 hours old. This sales are coming in, buyers coming in. It's drifting. Certainly wouldn't be shorting it. It's in the buy area. Rather buy it here, around about these levels, than buy it here. And certainly I won't be shorting that. If it comes back this far, you made 50 pips if you're lucky. But even that hasn't really got going. See what I mean? Look at that indecision. Look at that. Look at that. Soon it comes off, the buyers come in again. Now the sellers are coming in. I wouldn't be shorting that, no. Yeah, I did. Not many people keen on the pound after yesterday's onwards, but I did. I'm looking to sell the pound basically. I'm looking for a sell on that. Actually, we've gone for the sell there on. We're doing all right. We're up a bit. But 163.10 earlier. Anyway, yeah, seem to be getting some confirmation, but I'm for a sell on it. Yeah. Either wide stop, maybe 90 pip stop, and you take it down there. Maybe take it down. Yeah, that's too far. Take it down about there. That should do you. But I see downside. If anyone wants to do it, I'm happy selling the pound. I don't have yesterday. I think I overreacted. I mentioned that many times, and I think we're going to get a pullback. So yeah, I think it's going to come on. So you want to do it, you can work out your own risk reward. If anyone else wants to do it, I'll put it up. Just wait for you. If you say put the R up, I'll do it. Okay. We'll go over the pound again because I say I think we're going to pull back here. 163.80. And the TP we can put down here, somewhere around here should do the job. 161.58. Yeah, your risk rewards okay. 110 back to the micro, not terrible. We'll look at the weekly before you jump in. Coming off of it, it's okay. I'm happy with that. 4 hour. It's the buy zone there, but I think it's overcooked from yesterday. Hourly 15. Yeah. The best no-brainer, the best of the lot with the Nasdaq at 12.7 with a sell on the micro. One of the best high probability trades going. This is in the same category. I think it's okay. Anyone to do this one? Anyone will do it? Jacob, are you going to do it? So join Farney? Finally joining you. Anyone to join? Because I can't put it down for one. I might do anyway, to be honest. But it's nice to have someone joining him. Bit of moral hand holding. You want to do it, Jacob? Maybe he's disappeared, lost internet. Damn, load shedding's unreal, eh? Anybody else need an answer? I'm looking for a yes. Anybody else? Any yeses out there? Come on, Israel, you can do it. Or Floyd. Well, I'll put it down anyway. Break the rules a bit. Should be 2, but anyway, I'll put it down anyway. Joe gets on. Just a reminder there. You count as 2, Fardy. If you come to trade regularly over a period of a couple of months or more, you count as 2 votes. Just made that rule up. Good enough. Right, okay. I'll go back to the other pound ones we looked at. GBP USD. I think some possibility of downside here with a stop about here. And a TP down here. You lean towards the hawkish stance. That should come off nicely if it does work out. I don't think it's not. And yeah, do anyone want to do this one now on the pound? Never mind yesterday. That was yesterday. I'm not saying you can't bogey the next hole like you bogeyed the last one, but still, if you're too sort of gun shy after yesterday, maybe not. But I mean, I think it's going to pull back, and we're getting some momentum. Looks on the shorter term, fine. It's right up against there and the sellers are coming in. So that helps your cause. Anyone like it? Some profits on the NAS and the GBP micros, you took them, and the US dollar rand you took, you should have a couple of bucks in there. Why not? Anyone take this? I count to 5. I don't see any yeses. I'm going to move on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.25, 4.5. Voiding the cable, unstable cable. All right, not doing it. Okay, well, then we'll leave the other one, Euro GBP alone. Okay, so I've got them if you like them. Okay, right, so there we are. You need to go back on. Remember 9 o'clock I mentioned about calculator, save the charts, my number, you got the economic data, and you got the GXY, gold's jumping around over $3 range, the NAS, anything happening on the NAS, coming back off again, good, which means the Dow should be. If you took the Dow again, if you're already, I wouldn't double up the chat if you want, but I would suggest not, it's up to you. It looks like the Dow is coming back off. One thing I did like about it, we didn't have much moving around on it. Normally, after it comes that far down, you get a decent bounce. And look, it's not been happening. And every time I try to bounce, the sellers are coming in. So it seems to me the belief out there is going to break through here, and they're leaving hawkish start from Powell. So yeah, and already we're in a couple of pips profit on that new Dow one. What did it send out? Anybody receive that Dow, by the way? I don't know if they send it out. Just tell me if they sent it out or not, and receive that in their mailbox or on their WhatsApp or whatever. Okay, maybe we didn't send out after all that. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, well, look, the Nasdaq had popped its head up, and then the buyers just couldn't get going. As soon as it pops it up, the sellers are coming in. It's like it's trying to attack 12,000, which is good news for everyone. A big question: you should jump in now. You took the Dow, I don't know. If you didn't take the Dow, maybe take the NAS instead on the micro. If you're not already in to run with it, a good chance you might come back here. It's 170 pips. Not very much actually. You probably aim down here to make it worth your while. If you want your stop at least up here. So you're going to have it down here. Yeah, you're going to have it stop down here somewhere. But yeah, looks like it's going to break through 12,000, which is good. And the guy's still in the shares, the Bubba, the Microsoft, or what's the other one? Hewlett Packard, HPQ. That should be looking good for even lower movement down. Lower opening and a more movement down. Okay. Well, we agreed to wait on Brent, by the way. I think we're jumping the gun a bit to go in now. A bit of technical damage. Let's look at the 15-minute. Anything happening there? I think we're jumping the gun a bit. Because I want a $4 stop. Where'd $4 take me? That'd be 77 or 78 bucks. Yeah, stop down there. Might jump in the gun. I think I actually. Problem here. Not going to work. No, leave it alone. Not worth your while. Okay, right. Excuse me. Hey, the FTSE's coming up. Starting pretty, isn't it? So that's starting to look okay. Yeah, Marie, see that? Your FTSE's coming up. Can you believe? Not your foot, don't worry, panic not. The FTSE. Might get a bit of noisy, a bit of resistance there. But anyway, the bloody thing's coming off at solid laugh. What a pleasure. Oh, you're not in anymore. Oh no, that's not it. I thought you'd be hanging on in there. Keep your bite your fingernails and and the rest of it, but now it's coming off and you're not on board. Oh, well, some are, so at least that's good news. Okay, well, pity actually, because I think you've been doing okay now. We got one out, didn't we? Was it? I think about a week ago anyway, but we got, I found it, 17th, we're now, only 6 days ago. Only, but anyway, I found it. Yeah, FTSE 7963. So, all right, it's not exactly shot the lights out, but at least it's in a profit. Good. Well, that's good. I thought I mentioned earlier on, your balance was down to too small after GBP NZD, and it worried me. Oh, is that Rocco? Okay, fine. Yeah. All right. What was the question again? I'd rather ask it privately, actually. It's on my Zoom session. Yeah. Okay. I haven't got time for it now. I'll ask after that. I'll answer after in the pocket. Okay, Rocco. Where are we now? Yeah. Yeah, equity management is important. Yeah, no problem with that. Yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, GBP CHF, everything happening there. We can check our trade open this morning. Trying to, bit slow, but at least it's trying to. Hey, at least it's trying. Give it very trying. Dow's doing okay. Yeah. Anyone wants to chase the Nasdaq micro not in? We can do that if you like. We seem to be coming off as we speak. AUDJPY. Not looking pretty at the moment. Come off a little bit, not much, 5 pips. Let's see. GBP JPY, only one person want to take it. It's coming off a bit, but not much. We'll see how that happens. No, it was a sell, wasn't it? I'm talking rubbish, a sell. Hang on. Yeah, it's coming off nicely. Well done, Barney. It's coming off nicely. 10 pips so far, and then we've only just entered it. That's looking good. So all the clackers are going to miss out on it. Okay, I don't see any other trades at the moment. I think I've mentioned what needs to be mentioned. I'm sure you all know now we'll talk about margin, exposure, in leverage, specifications, contract size. Anybody still there? Now I've got a few minutes. Any doubts on that? Because it's not a question I'm embarrassed to ask. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of guys are a bit nervous to ask, but don't understand it. You've got to understand the maths behind it. If you don't understand the maths, you won't be able to trade it. You're going pure on a wing and a prayer. You've got to understand that, and it's not that difficult. At least it's not difficult, but yeah, you understand. We're talking about leverage, higher leverage, lower leverage, margin, being deposit margin, exposure, contract size, specifications where you get information. You all understand that. No, we didn't. Assume you all understand it. Nobody's answering. I don't. So I'm assuming you all understand it. So if you're all not answering any questions on that, and you do all understand it, you can't say 5 minutes later, I didn't get that, because here's your opportunity. You don't be going in because you don't understand the contract or the leverage. What does it mean? Okay. Euro dollar, I haven't mentioned it. I don't see anything there at the moment. Jacob, I'm seeing there at the moment. Anyone looking at the euro dollar, see a buy or a sell or anything on that? I don't. Anyone's thoughts on this one? Let's have some people interactive. The forum, remember? See what you've learned. What's your opinions? I'll mute you in case you want to explain verbally, probably a bit more detail that way. We're all unmuted now. Yeah, I'm LIA on that one, but anyone want to put up a case for a buy or a sell on this? Okay. As long as you all know the reason why you say leave it alone or why, or whatever, that's important. It's not a question to say because Ken or Roger or Farney don't like it. That's not a good enough reason. You've got to understand why we don't like it. That's the point. Yeah, that's what I think as well. That's what I'm trying to get across, knowing why we're doing it. It's not a complete thumbsuck. I want 5 trades, give me them. I'll give you a pleasure. If it ain't any good, I'm not another story. Good enough. Got it. So let's go back to Farney's trade there. The others didn't want to do it. Yep, it's nice in profit at the moment. We're about a dozen pips in profit. It goes all right. CHF, it's coming right. Bloody time. Starting to come right. Good. Don't forget the CPI and the GBP is coming out in 2 minutes' time. I forgot to mention that. That put a few years in your life, didn't it, guys? Just kidding. Yeah, so at least let's see break through the round figure, then we're in serious business. Yep. Oh, yeah. Well, nobody want to do it though. I like that one. I like to do it a little bit higher up. When I mentioned earlier on about up to 9 or wherever it was. Let's go back an hour. Go back to the half-hour one. Don't use half-hour very long. Some dark's got to come through. What's this now? 10:30, 10 o'clock. Yeah, I was getting around about these levels here, but nobody seemed to like it. Never mind. You've got back yesterday's buddy pop up. Hey, what do you also in profit? Did you take it, Farney? Did you take the GBP USD? God, he's got the I'm sure he's got some tiger, Siberian tiger hormones or Rambo hormones. Do you take it? Oh, beaut. So you're 10 in profit there, yeah, good stuff. Well, you should be seeing blue all over there. You'd be blinded by blue. That's called alliteration, by the way. Blinded by blue. No, it's not. I hope you thought about that. I hope that swept under the carpet. It is misbehaving, yeah. Are we still in it? AUD CAD 92.05. Yeah, I'm getting some jip here. What we on the daily? Yeah, I haven't reached that yet. So stop is below here, so hopefully we'll come right. It's giving us some serious problem. That's a bit of red there, yeah, okay. And this one's giving some jip as well. Look at it. But we'll keep our fingers crossed. Will we get on this one? I think it's way down this one. AUDNZD, where is it? 1022, bloody hell. 1.1022, I should say. So that's not pretty. 65 pips down. Are there any buyers coming? There are a few. Trying to. Maybe it'll give us jip and then come right, like the US dollar yen. Remember that? Twice it came. Three pips to stopping us out and hit the TP on both occasions. So let's keep it. Oh, that's fair enough, Fiona. Fair enough. Okay, Mark. S gone bloody willy, yeah. Oh, I have some horror stories on that at the moment. If you get through the headlines and, you know, the people who know their story, it is look like they'd 7. The fear things about turning off the grid, apparently I'm highly unlikely, which that's a bit of good news, but It looks like 6 is going to be going ahead. They're just we don't want to go through and depress you. Half a dozen whites have popped up anyway. Government's blaming Eskom, and half is the government's fault as well. Everyone's trying to shelve blame now. See what? Remember budgets on tonight? Was it 3 o'clock, 3:30, whatever it is? Enoch Godongwana, I think it is. Pronounce his name correctly. Yeah, he's doing his budget today. I don't know what he's going to do about Eskom. Sort of firing 60% of the employees. What he's going to do. 1,400, thanks. 1,400, there you are, guys. Budget speech at 2 o'clock. Let's put that down. Thanks for that. 2 p.m. budget. Full street. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was in the Merchant Navy. I'm used to 24-hour clock. Okay, yeah, so there we are. Let's try to move up. Maybe we'll come right in the end. Just stick with it and stick with the pain. Shares looking to should open a little bit further down, but luck, so they should be good. So the guys in shares should be all right. That's why I keep saying, try and get some money in your account. If you're scared, I understand that, but try and overcome it and realize you're going to really battle if you're undercapitalized, and you're not going to get much success because you just cannot diversify. You know the expression, all the eggs in one basket? If you've got a grand or something like that, you've got to have all your eggs in one basket. You just don't have enough capital to have free margin and put margin down to go into the trades. So you need to diversify. You know, it's nice to be in the 5 trades, 6. If one goes wrong, at least maybe the others will come right. Give you a chance to get a few shares. You get the idea. So yeah, trying to trade with small amounts is trying to go into the capitalist market. You're undercapitalized. It's going to be an uphill struggle. Just bear that in mind. Do you think you're selling it now? I'm not about that. I'm going to stick with strategy. Your choice. Firstly, I'm going to stick with strategy. Dollar's strengthening, by the way, 104.2 on the DXY, so that's interest. So that should compound your GBP USD. The unstable cable might stable up to the downside. So that should actually start coming right. Good. Well, it's up to you. You want to take the loss, up to you, but I'm sticking with strategy. Okay, it's coming near to 11 o'clock. Just the last couple of things now. If anyone's got a trade we'll look at, absolutely. Want to recheck something, absolutely. If you want to ask, if I ran too quickly about contract size specifications, you just want another run by on that, I'll do it. You've got to put your hand up and say so. Otherwise, I assume if you don't ask, you do already know. Yes, that I do know. That's good. That's good. Yeah, and should in theory start breaking 1830 soon. It might be a bit slowish because I think the volume down because of the Powell speech tonight, but I think it's going to drift a bit lower on that. Yeah. And the HPQ, hey, that's doing all right. The guys who took that trade must be smiling, hey? So you're all good on contract size, leverage, exposure, free margin, keeping free margin in your account, don't overexpose, equity management. You're all good with that. Good with that, Simone? A few new names there. Why'd you get out of it? Maybe you modified the stop too quickly. I don't know. It's too early to modify the stop. You shouldn't have modified yet. Well, maybe you. I don't know. Anyway, you're out. You're out. We should, in theory, still be in. Are the guys still in Hewlett Packard? You should still be in. Shouldn't have, yeah. You're good. Fantastic. You should be out. Just too quick a profit taking. Maybe there's a bit of nerves coming in there. Okay. I hope the others are still in it because you should be. Don't really use it much. That tends to, I will, because the MACD has indicated, well, actually, I know it's a bit more to it, it's a little bit more to it than that, but it will get the information from the price action that will be starting to breaking it because that's the price action. I'm more interested in breaking the 1.12 round thing and sustain the break to get the thing moving down. Other courses need to do for calculate profit, bigger to pay for course. I'm sorry, Fiona, I don't understand what you're saying. If you bought the course, what do you mean profit bigger to pay for course? Make profit out of the course. I don't know about that. You need to know this stuff. I don't. Yeah, a lot of say, oh, well, I'll use a profit there. That's when it's easy. It's not that easy. Yeah, you've got to be able to afford the course whether you make a profit or not, and use capital you afford to risk. Dollar's going up, by the way, as we speak. And know what you're paying. If you're paying £1,000 a month for the course, if you've got 4 or 5 grand in your account, you've got no chance. You know what I mean? It's return to investment would be astronomical to do it. You must get the maths right. Do percentages. You have to get that right. Otherwise, you're looking at unrealistic percentages. Okay, right. Well, are we all good? Any questions? Okay, fair enough. I understand. Suits you mean. Okay. Need prop to trade US account. Fair enough. All right. Any other questions? Are we all good? Anything else you want clarifying on? Vicky, there's a new name there. Are you good, Vicky? Cheers, Anna Marie. Thanks, Knowledge. Of course. You good there, Vicky? You're not being left out. You just interact. If you're not sure enough, just say so and we'll try and assist. You're good. Fantastic, Vicky. So I hope we've had some value today. I hope the guys, newer, medium, experienced guys, got some value. See how the trades run. And thanks, Jacob. I just want to leave a bit of feedback. And you learned some stuff. Yeah. Just going realistic, not too rose-colored colored spectacles. We want to be realistic, and you won't accept yourself for disappointment. See you at 4 p.m. Thank you, Pete. Good. And let's all bow down to see some blue coming in. Blue's the name of the game. Cheers, guys, and catch you later. Thanks, Marius. Cheers. Thank you, Brian. Thanks for feedback. I need that. I want your money. I want your positive feedback. Cheers all.